Hey everyone, Keenan Gray here from DyeStat.com, bringing you another edition of DyeStat Discussions, just days away from an epic race down at JDL Fast Track, the ASICS Sound Invite coming to you on RUNNERSPACE.com, and arguably one of the bigger races of the indoor season outside of, Millrose Games, New Balance Indoor Grand Prix. A lot of the biggest names in the sport are going to be right in that track at JDL. And one of those athletes, of course, competing in the women's 3000, kind of her season debut, although she's already ran an 800 this year. Shelby Houlihan beginning her second chapter, I should say, of her reemergence back into the sport after having her 4-year suspension. We kind of were just chatting offline a little bit. Your first race since that suspension was, 3 days ago last year. I mean, is it crazy how much has gone by since, that moment to returning back to professional running?
Yeah, the time I feel like is just kind of like flying by, and last year was awesome. And in terms of like, I did a lot of the things that I was like hoping to do, and making that world indoor team and medaling there, and then a rocky outdoor season a little bit here and there,
Hmm.
but to come away at worlds, make the world team first of all, and then get fourth there. It was, yeah, definitely a great season. And I'm hoping to continue feeling better and better, because I think it took a little while for me to like really feel like myself again. And so I'm hoping that that continues to happen as the time keeps going.
Yeah. Well, again, really appreciate your time hopping on here. Let's reflect a little bit on last season. Do you feel like you went above expectations? Were you not surprised by what you accomplished? Because again, after 4 years, a lot of people didn't know where your fitness was going to be at. No one knew where your mentality was really going to be at. And, you probably surprised a lot of people, like you said, going to Worlds, medaling, and then, making another world team for Tokyo this last summer.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I didn't even know where I was going to be at, right? Like, I had high expectations for myself, and like, or I guess I would reframe that as like high goals. I was trying not to have like too many expectations, just because like I didn't know how I was going to feel, and what that was going to look like. But I did want to come out swinging, try to, medal, make both teams. I wanted to medal outdoors as well. So, and I wanted to like try to set records and just like do all the things in one year. I
Yeah.
also was realistically knowing like that might not happen. It might be
Hmm.
harder than I think it will be. And I was trying to, give myself some grace for that. But I ultimately, like, I think I did pretty much everything that I wanted to do. And I feel like I had one of my best seasons.
Hmm.
Um, Even though it like didn't necessarily like look the same, like I had a hard year too, like mentally it was tough, coming back, and um yeah, just like still training by myself, all those things. So a lot of the year, like, it just didn't really like feel fun. But yeah, trying to do that differently this year so it feels a little more sustainable, a little more fun.
Yeah. What were you most proud of what you accomplished this last year, whether, is medaling at Worlds or heck, even finishing one spot away from another medal at World Outdoors?
That's a really good question, actually. I think a couple things come to mind. One, like, just medaling indoors, that was like, kind of like a check mark off the box. I've
Hmm.
been wanting to medal, and that was, I feel like doing that so soon was like, okay, yeah, like I'm back, I'm here. But also, I think a little bit like just getting through the year when I know it was so up and down, and my motivation at times was like, I'm so fired up, ready to go. And other times I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even want to do this anymore, So I think like the riding that roller coaster, and but still kind of showing up, getting the work done and doing it anyway. I'm really proud of myself for like continuing to, just be diligent about getting the work in and showing up when it mattered.
Yeah. So now that we've gone past that first year of, getting to see where Shelby is at now back after her suspension, we're here in year two now of this new chapter. What do you kind of see for this year and for yourself? You want to accomplish in a year that has only got one world major in championship, which is of course the indoor championships in Poland. But then there's also you got the ultimate championships in Budapest later down the road. But you have a lot of flexibility to do a lot of things this year. So what's on your plate for this year?
That's another great question. I am not really sure yet, honestly. Like, I'm kind of taking it, you know, as it comes, but like I did a couple trail races which were super fun. I want to try to like do more of those. Um but when it like fits in, I think, but the right now I'm not going to do US indoors. I'm not going to do world indoors. I really want I've been wanting to do a 10K and
Mhm.
just like see what I could do in that. So my plan is to, after this 3K next weekend, go up to altitude and just hunker down and try to get as fit as possible to go attack a fast 10K end of March. I'm gonna try to do the 10, and after that I have no plan. I have no plan. But yeah, I think, it'd be cool to make like the ultimate championships and do all that. Maybe run some fast times. I don't even know in what events yet. I think it'd be fun to do an 800. I kind of still like want to run a fast 15. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah, and of course, if you guys follow Shelby on Instagram, you've already seen that she's completed a couple trail races so far this early season. But as she mentioned, she's got a 3K this coming week at the ASICS Sound Invite, and the field super talented. Nikki coming off a Milrose Games, want to make her title. You got Sinclaire Johnson, who is ran a couple American records in the mile, most recently that road mile. Dorcus Ewoi, a World Championships medalist. I mean, we could go on a laundry list. That could take all day. But what do you think of the field and the opportunity that presents itself in front of you?
Yeah, it's going to be a great field, a great race. Obviously, all of everyone's going to be super talented and hard to race against. I'm trying not to to be honest, like I'm a little scared because I haven't really even raced yet. I don't know where I'm at. I did an 800 last weekend and that didn't go super well. I just went up to altitude and got hit in the face with that altitude wall. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm at. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be competitive and I'm fit, but there's just a lot of new variables for me in training and stuff. So I'm hoping I'm fit. I'm hoping I'm gonna line up and like be in the fight. To be quite honest, I just don't know where I'm at. And so if anything,
Hmm.
like I think it's gonna be a good gauge to get like kind of give me that tell where I'm at, what I need to work on going forward to get ready for the 10. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm always excited to race and I'm gonna line up and give it my all, so we'll see what happens.
You say you're a little scared. Were those kind of the same feelings last year when you went to Fayetteville to race that first race in 4 years?
Similar feelings, but way different context, I think.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, last year was just like I think similar feelings in the fact that like I don't know where I'm at.
Hmm.
And sometimes that's just scary to like, go figure out where you're at in front of people. And,
Hmm.
it's a kind of a vulnerable position to put yourself in. But I think also the Fayetteville was more just like, I don't know, there's a lot of unknowns there and just like
Hmm.
getting back into racing. So for this one, I'd say it's more a fear of just not knowing where I'm at, maybe, doing that in a public way, but
Hmm.
um yeah, I think that's really all it is. It's just the unknown, I suppose. But I am excited to line up and get a good indoor race in, and I'm happy that I get the opportunity to race a lot of really good people for that 3K.
Yeah. So, where do you say your fitness is at right now at the beginning of this year? Even though you've talked about this as kind of the unknown right now, we don't know where Shelby's potential is at this point because it's so early on in the year.
Yeah, like I don't even know like what like to give you a number or anything. Like I don't know what shape I'm in really. Yeah, I and that's kind of honestly how I am as an athlete. Like I usually have a hard time figuring that out.
Hmm.
That's where like training partners or racing really are big for me. I don't know a lot about like, oh, this workout means that and all this stuff, and I kind of
Hmm.
just do what I'm told and try to do it really well. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think I've been starting to work with a sprint group here, the Altus group, and Stu McMillan. So I'm trying to move better, get more power, like, stuff like that. Do more like sprint mechanics kind of things. So doing better things in the weight room. I think there's just a lot of new variables in my training that I think are going very well, but I'm also adapting. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know how racing necessarily is going to go because I'm still adapting to a lot of new things over here and I'm kind of feeling tired. So, yeah, there's just like a lot of variables and that are playing into the unknown.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I hope I feel great next week or this, for the 3K and yeah, I'll give it my all and we'll see what that means on the day.
Are things different than, in terms of like training purposes from like 5 years ago? Are you doing things that are way different than what you would have been doing in years past?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I I would say like a lot more emphasis this year. Yeah, on doing more like sprint based stuff. Like the last 4 or 5 years I've been really like heavy hitting into the aerobic base and like strength aspect. Um, and I'm not really touching as much on speed, which I think I felt this last year. I didn't feel fast. I felt really strong, So I'm
Mhm.
trying to, okay, obviously I've like been sharpening that strength knife over and over again now, and like now the speed knife is dull. I need to sharpen that again. So I'm kind of trying to get back to that this year. Um, but it's similar in the fact that I'm still working on the strength stuff, but yeah, introducing better s speed stuff and then actually doing good stuff in the gym instead of like what a PT gave me like 6 years ago. Like so I think it's just gonna be it's more intentional, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you got two different coaches. Obviously, the sprint group is helping you out. Your sister is helping you out while she's coaching at GCU. What's that like having her by your side again, and just kind of like having Coach Houlihan as your coach?
Yeah, no, it's been good, honestly. Like it's nice. She's she gives a lot of like flexibility and works with me, which I
Hmm.
think is has been really good for me as I've gotten older. It's like I got to a point now where like I know what I feel like I need um and she's receptive to that, so just more collaborative. But yeah, obviously it's also like nice that I get to hang out with my sister like a few times a week too. Like she's willing to meet me for practice or even drive up to Flagstaff if I'm training up there and helping me out. But yeah, overall it's been awesome and I've enjoyed getting to spend even more time with her too.
Yeah. Biggest lesson you learned from last year that you kind of want to take over into this year to continue growing and, achieving what you want to achieve as an athlete.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Biggest thing I've learned last year. Honestly, I think at Worlds, um, I don't really race or I don't really lead a lot of races. And that's something that I want to work on. And I going into that world race, I felt like I visualized and like was really prepared for whatever was going to happen. I would say I did not visualize and prepare for me leading the whole thing. And so, and that was like a
I just
gap for
honestly,
me, like I
I
should
thought you
have.
were just going for it. I'm like, all right, this is pretty much the last race of the year. Why not just go for it?
Yeah, and like it kind of worked out. Like anyway, I was able to get fourth, and that's awesome. I think I'm proud of myself for doing it and just kind of going for it. At the same time, I think there was a big learning moment in there where I wasn't super confident when I was leading. I was like looking at the scoreboard, like, oh crap, they're still here. Like I'm not dropping anybody. I'm trying to
Mhm.
squeeze it down, and I think noticing like I'm proud of doing something different, but also there's a lot of growth in doing that. I would
Mhm.
like to lead more races and do it confidently, and like really just like hammer and try to drop people instead of kind of doing it in a scared way. So I think that lesson from Worlds kind of moving forward, I just want to race a little bit more fearlessly and more confidently, even if that means just going to the front and hammering. Um, so yeah, I think doing a little bit more of that, especially in an off year where it's, you know, there's not a lot as much on the line, I suppose. I can just
Mhm.
like just go do whatever, and maybe this is going to be a good year for me to practice that.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, it's building up to LA 2028, which feels like forever away. And I also
Yeah, it's
know
gonna
that
come
you're,
quick.
yeah, I know it is. And also, when this comes out, your birthday will have already happened, so you will be turning 33 already. I mean, you feeling younger? You feeling younger as you get older and faster?
It's funny, like I keep like saying like I don't feel like I thought I would be like I would feel at 33. I still feel young. I don't feel 33. It feels weird to like say that I'm turning 33. Um yeah, I don't know. I think you're always as old as you think you are in some ways, and yeah, my body feels good. I feel like I'm healthy. And I don't know, I don't feel old, I guess.
That's
Not that
not
I
me trying.
am, but
That's not me calling you old at all. What you are, 33 years young, Shelby.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. No, I'm, I think each year I just try to like do something cool and cross off a bucket list item. This year's going to be no different, whether I'm, you know, 29, 33, 53, who cares? Gonna make the most of it.
For sure, yeah, and of course, as you mentioned, the fact that the 3K this coming week is kind of just a rust buster opportunity. Which I don't know if this is an opportunity where you'll go out front, even though you have the
I
ambition,
don't
or
know
you want
yet.
to put yourself in a position where you want to go out front. But
Yeah.
when you leave this weekend, what do you want to see from this race, and then going forward, because it sounds like this is your only indoor race for this, at least for the rest of the season, because then the focus shifts right to outdoor. So what do you want to take away from this weekend at JDL?
Yeah, I these are just great questions because I hadn't thought about this yet. Um,
Making you think here
I think
today.
I know this is good. It's good. Um, I think a win would like for me this weekend would be hopefully feeling good, but like really feeling
Mhm.
like that was all I had. Like I couldn't have done anything else. That was it. Racing confidently, I think too, would be great. Just, like I think, I'm telling you, I don't know where I'm at, and like that's kind of scary. And I hope that I can, and I feel confident that I can get myself into a mental state of like, yeah, I'm here to, mess stuff up and uh just line up and feel confident. I think that's
Great
just work that I need
chaos.
to do. Yeah, create chaos. Here we go. Yeah, I think if I can just race confidently and give it my all, I'll be happy with that. And at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's just a gauge of where I'm at, really.
Yep.
It's just information of what to work on. Um, Racing really fast and well would be awesome. But, we'll see what happens.
Yep, it's just another building block for this. Not interesting. I don't think interesting is the right word, but a unique year since there's not, Olympics or World Championships this outdoor season. So kind of just the beginning of what I would think would be a fun year for you, especially
Yeah,
since the idea of running it more 10Ks, maybe more road races, or on the back of your mind for down the road. So
I do
I
have a
would
beer
assume,
mile, so
hey,
that's gonna happen this year.
I mean, and you are a world record holder in it, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I know there's yeah, I think towards the end of the year, I don't know specifics at all, but I am planning on doing a beer mile to end the year, so we'll see what that means. But
What
so
was
yeah,
what was
lots
the
of fun
time
stuff.
when was the last time you did a beer mile?
I did one last year actually after World Indoors. After I paced the 10 last year, I think like either the next week or the week after. It wasn't like a big thing. I flew to SF and did a beer mile with some people, so that was fun.
Sounds like a great time. We look forward to seeing when that next beer mile is. Everyone definitely should tune in to that
Yeah,
opportunity for
everyone
Shelby to
should
see if we
watch.
can to try to break her own world record in that. So Shelby, always great to catch up with you. Great to see that you're in good spirits, and obviously looking forward to this next year in 2026. But good luck this weekend over at the ASICS Sound Invite. Looking forward to see what you do in that really stacked women's 3K field.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.